Okay, everybody, I'm going to have to work on this lighting, I think. Let's see here. Maybe I'll put it up here because it's dark outside with the clouds. So I'm going to try to do this without a glare, but it may or may not come out that way. Maybe when I put everything down to play, it won't be so bad. But what we have here is game 149 in the Chicago White Sox replay, 1977 Stratomatic style. Let me make sure this is working okay. As some of you may know, I'm a 20th century guy in a 21st century world, so my technology is not always up to snuff with the modern world. I do see the glare there, so I'm not sure how. Let me see if I turn this light off. Would that be too dark, or will it be okay? I might have to do it without the light because I just don't see. Unless I put this background light on. Let me try that. I guess I should have done some light testing before I did anything. See if that works. Hopefully that works a little bit better, so we can see everything. All right, so since we last left you, or since I last left you, we had finished up the Minnesota series, or almost finished the Minnesota series. Ken Kravick, in his mastery, defeated the Twins by the score of 3-1. Complete game victory for Mr. Kravick. Well, that was game 145. Game 146 was also against the Twins. That was offline, and the Sox were able to prevail thanks to Jim Spencer. He had 2 home runs, including a 2-run shot in the bottom of the 8th that broke a 4-4 tie. Sox won that one 6-4 to get the split on the series and enter game 147 against the California Angels with a record of 77-69. Game 147 went as planned for the Sox. Chris Knapp actually had a good outing, and they beat the Angels by the score of 2-1 in a pitcher's duel. Sox played some small ball at the end, got a leadoff single from Garr in the bottom of the 8th. A sacrifice bunt by Lemon moved him over, and then George Orta hit him to third, and then Richie Zisk sacrifice fly to center field was the deciding factor. Now, game 148 was not so good for the Sox. The Angels actually, behind Wayne Simpson, beat Rinko and the Cubs 4-3. Large part in due to 2 errors by the Sox. A major error by George Orta, allowing 3 unearned runs in the top of the 2nd, and that kind of put the kibosh on everything. So Sox fall to 78-70. California improves to 73-73. So now we're to game 149, and this is actually a doubleheader. Game 149 and game 150 are doubleheaders, or part of a doubleheader. And again, it is the California Angels coming to call. So I think I'm going to have to raise this up a little bit to fit everything on camera. I'm thinking that's what I'm going to have to do. Let me maneuver some stuff here. See if I can get this to line up. It might be as good as I can get it. It can be a little higher up than I would like, but I think the only way to get everything in the picture is to do it this way. All right, so hopefully that works out well. And for game 1 of the doubleheader, we have Francisco Barrios taking on Gary Nolan of the Angels. We'll go through the lineups as they come up in the game. But first things first, need to get the weather effects for today's game. And we, of course, are in Chicago for a day game because it's a doubleheader. And this is not a day-night doubleheader like they do nowadays. This is a regulation back-to-back doubleheader. So when we do the roll for one, that's going to be the roll for both. And a day game in October, right here, day game 1-7 is good. 8-14 is average, and 15-20 is not so good. So the roll is a 5, which means we have good weather today. So 1-11 will be the singles department, and with good weather in Comiskey, 1-6 will be home runs. So maybe that'll help some of the Chicago White Sox power hitters get some home runs. 11 and a 6. Let's see here. That's out of the way, so now we are ready to go. First To the plate will be Mr. Thad Bosley. He will be taking on Barrios, and I'm hoping this comes through. Let me look at my computer here. It looks like the lighting is okay, so I'm going to go with it. I think putting that lamp light on caused a little bit of a glare that I don't really want, so hopefully this will be all right. We shall see. Again, myself and technology are not good friends, so do what I can. All right, so this is game 149, and if everything holds out, game 150. We're going to play a doubleheader today, like Ernie Banks. Let's play 2. So if we're going to play 2, let's get started. Sox enter game 78 and 70. California enters even 500, 73 and 73. Francisco Barrios taking on Thad Bosley to start off game 1 of this doubleheader. 1-3 for Bosley. That's a fly ball to right field. And there's one away. And that'll bring up Jerry Remy. Hello, Mike. How you doing? Yeah, the lighting's a little bit off because it's really stormy outside and I'm not getting much sunlight through the windows like I usually do. But when I turn the lamp light on, it's got a horrible glare, so I just have to go with it. I mean, it's almost hard for me to see the cards, but I think it's coming up better on camera than it is in real life here. But we'll see. My plan is to play a doubleheader. This is game 149 and game 150. And first at bat was Thad Bosley. And Bosley flies to right for one away against Francisco Barrios. And here comes Jerry Remy, second baseman, 6'8" against a lefty. That's a fly to right also. So 2 flyouts to right field in a row. And Henry Cruz, the right fielder in this first game of the doubleheader, catches both of them. That'll bring up the shortstop, Rance Mullenix. Let me bring the computer over so I can see. Hey, SGD Replays, how are you doing? Good morning to you, sir. All right, so 2 down, and here's Rance Mullenix. We got a 5-4. Mullenix is a lefty. 5-4 is a fly ball. Center field X, that is Chet Lemon. He's a 3. Can he get to it? 3 and a 14, he will get to it, but his E is a 13. That can be troublesome sometimes. So E13, and that is a 8. So we'll check center field. E13, there is no 8. There's a 6, but there's no 8. So good play. Chet Lemon will be able to haul it in. So the Angels go down 1-2-3, all flyouts to the outfield. Hello, Mr. Al. How are you doing, sir? Tabby says hello, although she is napping right now, I do believe. She kind of sits to the side on this one and just does her thing. All right, so Francisco Barrios, 1-2-3 inning. Now that brings up Gary Nolan to face Ralph Garr to lead things off. This is game 1 of a doubleheader. Plan on playing both games if the camera and myself both hold out. All right, 2-8. 2-8 for Garr. He's going to ground it back to Gary Nolan, so not a whole lot going on the first go-around. Here's Chet Lemon, center fielder. 2-7, 2-7. 1-2 is a single. Anything else, he lines to short. And he's going to line to short. Mullenix will make the play. 2 down, and that brings up George Orta. Had that big error last game that cost him 3 runs. 5-6 on Nolan against a lefty is a strikeout. So Sox go meekly in the first. Nothing going on through 1. We go to the second in this first game of a doubleheader. And it is 0-0. Second game of the doubleheader will be Baylor Moore for the Angels against David Frost for the Sox. So when you get these doubleheaders, you kind of get a lot of the bench guys and maybe the not-so-normal starters. So, you know, you see some different guys get some action when you got these doubleheaders. Here's Bobby Bonds, the DH, to lead things off in the second. 2-9 for Bonds, and he's going to strike out. So Bonds with the whiff. And Barrios off to a good start. To a good start in his last outing until some errors cost him and some walks. He's got to avoid the base on balls. Here's Baylor, 6-8, and that is going to be a pop-out to the shortstop Kessinger, and there's 2 away. That brings up center fielder Ken Landreau. 1-9 for Landreau, struck him out. So far, so good for Barrios. 6 up and 6 down, but he's got to get some run support from his mates. Right now, we go to the bottom of the second, no score. And that brings up Oscar Gamble, the DH. Trying to get things done here. It'll be Gamble, Soderholm, and Spencer due up for the Sox. SGD, we have a flash flood warning here as well, but I think where I'm at, I think I'm okay. It's just very, very rainy and stormy and wet. But so far, so good. We shall see. All right, 5-11 for the lefty against Nolan. Is a ground ball first base X, and the first baseman is Willie Mays Aikens. And his defense is not very good, a 4 E30. 4 and 18, though, he'll get to that. Now, the E30 might be problematic. As a first baseman in E30, he has to avoid, there's a lot of things to avoid. 30 is the lowest rate you can have. 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, and 18 all need to be avoided. And he got a 9, so he just did avoid it. So Willie Mays Aikens somehow makes the play. Tough chance, but he was up to the task, one away. And here is Eric Soderholm. 5-7 for Nolan, and that is a ground ball second base X. That's Jerry Remy. He's a little bit better defender than was Aikens. Jerry Remy checks in at a quite reasonable 2E21. 2 and a 3, though, could be problematic as soon as I say how good he is. 2 and a 3, though, he will get to it, barely. E21, he's got to avoid certain numbers. He's got to avoid, as an E21, he's got to avoid a 4, 13, and 17, and he definitely does that, so Remy makes the play. 2 up, 2 down for Big Jim Spencer. He had 2 home runs in the game 2 games ago to help him win. 3-7, but this time he just grounds to first. And much better chance there for Aikens to make the play, and the inning is over. So 2 up, 2 down in the first 2 innings for both teams, and that brings us to the top of the third. Francisco Barrios will take on Ron Jackson to start things off. It'll be Jackson, Aikens, and Humphrey, bottom third of the order. That's Ron Jackson if you're nasty. All right, 4-7. 4-7 is a leadoff walk. Boy, that's what gets Barrios in trouble quite a bit, those leadoff walks. Now, Jackson will be held. I don't think he's going to try anything because even if he gets the jump, best he can do is a 12, so I don't think they like those odds, but he will be held. So we'll see what happens on the 20. Nothing. Willie Aikens. That's a foul ball as one of them jumped the ship. We'll try it again. 6-9, and that's the bad spot for Barrios. That's going to be a 1-16 double, 17-20 single, 2 stars, so neither run will score. It is a 12, and that turns into a double. So that's going to put runners at second and third with nobody out. Here in the top of the third, Barrios getting in a little bit of trouble. They're going to play the infield back. Or should they? Well, you know what? With nobody out, it's tough to play the infield in with nobody out. But you know what? They're going to do it. They're going to play the infield in. They don't trust their offense right now. All right, nothing on the 20. Here's Humphrey. The infield is in. 5-5 is a strikeout, so don't need to worry about the infield when you strike a guy out. So Humphrey's out of there, 1 away. Here's Thad Bosley. Infield still in, of course. Nothing on the 20. 1-5. That doesn't matter about the infield because that's a solid double to left field for Thad Bosley. So it's a 2-run double. And all this started with a leadoff walk. Those leadoff walks will come back to get you. And it's 2-0 Angels here in the top of the third thanks to Thad Bosley. And he's on second. Will he be held? He will. He will have to be held. Here's Jerry Remy. And there's a 1. Chance for a wild pitch. Barrios' wild pitch rating is a 3. And no wild pitch, so we drive on. 4-7 for Barrios against Remy. 1-7 is a single. 8-20, he lines it to Orta. That's a 13, so Orta snags it for out number 2. So 2 down for Rance Mulliniks, and you want to get Mulliniks because you don't want to face Bobby Bonds with people on base if you can avoid it. So here goes 2 outs for Rance Mulliniks. 4-10 against the lefty. That's a ballpark single check, and with good weather, that's a 1-11 for Mulliniks. It is only 1 star, so the run would not score, but it would bring up Bonds with runners at the corners. But it's a 13, so we don't have to worry about that. That's going to be a line out to second to end the inning, but 2 damage done. 2 runs for the Angels here in the top of the third, thanks to that 2-run double by Thad Bosley. Angels lead 2-0. Gary Nolan coming back out with the run support. And we're going to have Henry Cruz coming up. Henry Cruz, and this is one of these computer cards that I had to print off. Hello, G Catcher. I'm sorry I didn't catch you in the chat. My setup is kind of unusual here. I've got my laptop up trying to watch the chat, but then the light in here. I hope it looks good on the video because in front of me it's kind of daunting. But you know, if I cut that lamplight on, you're gonna have glare out the yin yang, and it doesn't look good at all. All right, so here's Henry Cruz leading things off against Nolan. 6'3", he's a lefty. That's a ballpark home run chance. It would have been an in home run automatically, which he does have normal power, but it's actually a home run chance with that diamond shot. Now with good weather, it's 1-6. It's still not that great, but 1-6. Henry Cruz goes deep. That's a 9. He just missed it, so he will fly out to right field. Henry Cruz out of there. Here's Don Kessinger, shortstop. 5'9", switch hitter batting left, and he strikes out. So Gary Nolan, former Cincinnati Red, is looking impressive. Here's Brian Downing. Brian Downing, 3-9 for Brian Downing. 1-11 is a triple, 12-20 is a single. So 1-11, Brian Downing will get a rare triple. Nope, it's a double. So Brian Downing with a 2-out double. And that sets things up for Ralph Garr. Downing will not be held. Nothing on the 20. Here's Ralph Garr, a chance to drive in a run. 6-6 against the lefty. He's going to hit that single to left field, but it's not guaranteed. We have to check the left fielder. Left fielder arm is Thad Bosley. And Bosley's arm in left field is a +2. That helps. Plus, there's 2 outs, so that makes it a +4. So we add +4 to Downing's run rating of 11. That's a 15. So 1-15, he will score. And they're going to try to throw home, so that means Garr can go to second. And they're not going to cut the throw. So 1-15, Downing is safe. Anything else? And he's out. 15, he slides in under the tag just barely, but Garr takes second on the throw. So they almost got him, but Humphrey was not able to complete that tag completely. The fact that Bosley had a +2 arm and there were 2 outs certainly factored into that decision. Ralph Garr does take second on the overthrow. And it's a 2-1 ball game. So that brings up Chet Lemon, and Garr will be held. Nothing on the 20. Here's Lemon. 5-7, and he hits a ground ball, second base exits. Remy again, who again is a 2. And a 13, he'll get to that. And Remy again for his E rating, just to remind people, it is a 21. 21 and a 7 should be good all day long. And it is. 4 and 13 were the bad numbers. So Remy makes the play to end the inning. But the run comes in as Brian Downing slid around that tag. And that cuts the lead to 2-1 as we go to the 4th. So it gives the Sox a little bit of hope that they can score some runs. Barrios' fatigue is a 7. So as long as he doesn't walk people, he might be all right. But Bobby Bonds will lead things off the DH. Thank you, Al. I appreciate the feedback. My eyesight is not that great. So if you depend on my eyesight, you could probably be in trouble. Let's see here. Bobby Bonds to lead off the top of the 4th. 2-1 California lead here in game 1. 6-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. And that is Mr. Don Kessinger, and he's a 3 E27. 3 and a 20, he'll definitely get to that. E27 and an 8. That should be okay. E27, yep, 3, 12, 17, and 18 are the problems, but 8's not a problem. So good play for Mr. Kessinger, 1 away, and he's much better than Alan Bannister. Every time there's a ground ball to short for Alan Bannister, you worry about the error because of that E48 rating. All right, here's Don Baylor with 1 away. He popped a short his first trip. 4-9. 4-9 is an in-home run chance, 1-4 only. Only a 1-4. So 1-4, it's gone. 5-20, it'll be caught in left field by Mr. Ralph Garr at the track. It's a 7, so Ralph Garr at the track makes the catch against the wall. 2 down. Baylor almost had it, but not quite enough. Here's Ken Landreau. He had that he struck out his first time. 110. That's a ballpark single check. It's 1-11 with the good weather here at Wrigley, which is ironic because it's not good weather here where I'm at. 1-11, and it's still not going to help him. He's going to line it to second. So that's the second time the ballpark check single, even though it's 1-11, did not work out. So 1-2-3 inning recorded by Barrios, and the score remains 2-1 in favor of California. Gary Nolan, the batter. And Gary Nolan I'm sorry, the pitcher will be facing George Orta. He struck out his first time. 3-9 for Orta, and he grounds to short. Mullenix all over that one, one away. Here's Oscar Gamble. Gamble, a 5-8 rather, against a lefty, is a ground ball to second. That's Jerry Remy territory. 2 up, 2 down. That brings up Soderholm. He's due. He hasn't done anything for a while. 3-7. 1-13 is a single. At least get somebody on base. And a 2-out single for Soderholm. Keeps the inning going. He's a D stealer. He will not be held. He's definitely no threat to run. But it does set up Big Jim Spencer with a chance to get something done. Jim Spencer. 3-6 for Spencer, and he grounds to Remy, so it's not going to get anything done. And that will end the inning. So 4 innings in the books, and it's still 2-1 in favor of... Did I say Wrigley? I got Chicago in the mind, I guess. I'm still drinking my second cup of coffee, so maybe there's some lag there as well. I don't remember. In fact, I need another sip, I think. All right, top of the 5th, Ron Jackson walked to start off the 3rd, and that started all the trouble for Barrios his first time up. See if we can avoid that. 2-9. This time he struck him out, so Barrios gets a measure of revenge with that strikeout. Brings up Willie Aikens. 4-7 against the lefty, a 1-6 single. Anything else, he lines it to Orta. And it's a 6, so it'll fall in for a single, sneak right past Orta. Aikens no threat to steal, so he will not be held. We'll bring up the catcher, Terry Humphrey, number 9 hitter. There's a 2, chance for a pass ball or a balk. Now, Downing on his pass ball rating is 0. And Barrios on his balk rating is 0, so there's no worry there. We're not even going to have to roll for anything. Just keep driving on. Humphrey, 5-7, and he struck him out. So went from a potential balk or pass ball to a strikeout. So 2 down. And that brings up the top of the order Bosley. He had that big double last time. They're trying to avoid that for sure. 4-10, and that's a ballpark single chance again, which again is 1-11. It's failed twice in a row. Will it fail a 3rd time? It will not. This time it does get the single. It's only 1 star, though, so Aikens will have to stop at second. So runners are at first and second with 2 down for former Red Sox Jerry Remy. Nothing on the 20. Remy, 5-4 against the lefty. That's a fly ball center field X. That's Chet Lemon territory. He's a 3. That's a 7. He'll get to that. But the question is, will he have the error? He's the E13, which can be problematic, and that is a 6. Don't like those low numbers. E13 and a 6. And wouldn't you know it? E13 and a 6 is a 2-base error on Chet Lemon. So the fielding iniquities of Chicago come back to bite them again. A 2-base error on Chet Lemon. He's made way too many errors this season. There's another one, and that will score Aikens to make it 3-1 Angels with runners at second and third and 2 outs. And here's Rance Mullenix. Nothing happening there. Here's Mullenix. 2-3 for Mullenix. Struck him out to end the inning, but that error, unearned run, story of the Sox season, the unearned run. It is now 3-1, and they have to hope for some offense here against Gary Nolan. Nolan has a fatigue of 5, so this will be his point of weakness beginning because he's got a 5 there. And Henry Cruz, the computer-generated player, will lead things off. 3-7, and that is a ballpark home run. Not a ballpark, I'm sorry. It's a home run 1-13. 14-20, he flies to, I'm sorry, it's 1-12, my bad. It's hard to read these computer cards sometimes, but it's actually a 1-12 home run. So 1-12 is a home run for Cruz. 13-20, he flies out to right field. And Cruz goes deep. He does it. Henry Cruz finally gets a D20 roll that works. Sox cut the lead to 3-2, make up for that run. So Henry Cruz comes through. Here's Don Kessinger. 1-4. That's ground ball to Remy, 1 away. So Remy is retired. That brings up Brian 10 Downing Street. 2-9, and he's going to ground to Remy again. Boy, they like hitting the ball to Remy. 2 up and 2 down for Ralph Garr, Ralphie boy. Don't shoot your eye out. 4-7. Ground ball to Remy again, but it's an X chance. Remy, of course, is a 2E21. 2 and a 7 is good. E21. E21 and a 13. That could be interesting. E21 and a 13. We'll make sure nothing's happening. Oh, it is. How about this? Finally got to Remy. E21 and a 13 is a one-base error. Right there, 4 and 13 were his error numbers, and he found it. So that is an E4. So now each team with an error, as Remy boots it. Now Gar is a threat to steal if he can get the jump, because Nolan's a +5 hold rating, and the catcher Humphrey is a +1. So the best you can get is a +5. You can't get a +6. But +5 would add this to make this a 20, and being held be 18. So if he can get the jump, it's a 1 to 18 chance. So you can't pass that up. So Ralph Gar 2 to 6 or a 12 will be a good jump. 10, he couldn't get the jump, unfortunately. Almost tempted to go without the jump, because you get a 12 here. His track 4 makes it an 8, but then you add 5, makes it a 13. So even without the jump, he can try to steal with a 13. So I think we're going to try it. We're going to see if we can get something going here with 2 outs. Get him in scoring position. 1 to 13, he makes it even with a poor jump. And of course, he's out. So that's what I get for trying. Oh well. Got to do something sometime to shake things up. But the home run by Cruz cuts the lead to 3 to 2. I figured with 2 outs, it was a good gamble. It was a better than 50-50 chance, which is better odds than Lemon getting a base hit. So, but when they don't work, they make you look foolish as a manager. All right, so top of the 6th we go. And Nolan only has 1 notch against his point of weakness, so he's still good. Barrios, he's got 7 for his fatigue, so he's still good to go. Bobby Bonds, 2-7. A leadoff, boy, that's leadoff walk, so he'll come back to bite his butt. And Bonds is an excellent stealer, so he's going to try to get the jump. 2 through 6 or an 11 will get him the jump. And that's a 4, so he gets the jump, which means he starts with a 17. +1 from Barrios makes it an 18. The catcher is a 0, so that's an 18. -2 for being held is a 16. So 1 to 16, he will steal. And it's a 19. They threw him out. How about that? Brian Downing throws him out. Boy, the T20 was rough there. That was rough there, but one good turn deserves another, I guess. So Bonds is erased from the base pass, and here's Don Baylor. 4-5, and that's a strikeout. I'm sorry, I was looking at 5-5. 4-5 is a fly to right. This is good. Cruz will make the play for 2 down. That brings up Ken Landreau. 4-6 against the lefty. It's a fly to center, and Lemon will put it away to end the inning. So that caught stealing was huge, because you would have Bonds at second with nobody out, and trouble would be brewing. But they got out of it. So here we go. Bottom of the 6th. Still 3 to 2 in favor of those Halos. Here's Chet Lemon. 2-8 for Lemon. Ground ball to short, and Mullenix puts it away. 1 down. Here's George Orta. Somebody's got to get a big fly going here. 3-5. That's a walk, so we'll take it. George Orta with the leadoff walk. And again, even though he's not that good stealing, you can't pass up that +5. It's just staring you right in the face. So a 4 or a 6, he'll get the jump. An 11, he'll get caught. Or if it's a 1 on D20, it's a chance he can get caught. But a 4 or a 6, he gets his jump. 10, he does not, and he barely gets back. He doesn't get caught. So he won't be able to go anywhere. He couldn't get the jump. I'm not going to try it without the jump. No way. All right, so nothing on the 20. Here's Gamble. Gamble's due for a big homer. 3-7. No, he walks, though. That keeps the train moving. Runners at first and second on back-to-back walks. And now Gary Nolan is approaching his fatigue. 1 more batter, and he will be fatigued. So the Angels have right-hander Mike Barlow loosely in the bullpen, just in case. Orta is being held at second. 2, that's a chance for a balk or a pass ball, and Nolan does have a 7 balk rating, and that's what we're checking. So he's got a 7 balk rating, so if we get a 7 or less, it's a balk. Nope, not going to happen. No balk. So here's Soderholm, 1-5, fly to left. That's 2 down. So it's up to Big Jim Spencer to get it done. He's got an RBI sitting there for him on second base, if he can do it. Orta can run pretty well, so it's a base hit should score him. 4-3, fly ball to right field X. That is the right fielder Baylor. He's not very good, so this could drop in. Don Baylor, not a very good fielder. A 4E11, so it's a good chance this might drop in. 4 and 11. I don't know. That's going to be iffy. 4 and an 11 is an SI2. A 4 and an 11 is the last number in the SI2. So that will get the run home right there and tie the game at a minimum. We'll check for an error. Make sure there's no error on the play. That is a 9, and he is an E11. There is no 9, but it is a single 2 stars. And that'll be good enough to tie the game, as Don Baylor was not able to get over and get it. Gamble will stroke over to third. So a big RBI single for Spencer has tied the game at 3. And here's Henry Cruz. Spencer will not be held, by the way. And here's Henry Cruz, who homered his last time up. Nothing on the D20. Cruz, a 2-8 this time, will fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. But the big RBI single for Jim Spencer, and we got a tie game at 3. Don't tell me game 1 of a doubleheader is going to be extra innings. I don't think I could take that. Let's see. Ron Jackson will lead things off against Barrios. 2-7. 2-7 is a ground ball to short. And Kessinger will put that away. Here is Willie Aikens. 1-4 for Aikens, and he grounds it to Barrios. 2 down. So apparently the run support now has perked up Mr. Barrios, at least enough to feel like he can do something. And it looks like it's raining outside again. So yeah, we got some serious rain coming down outside. Pouring down rain. But we're inside. That always helps. But that's why it's so dark in here, because of the rain, the cloudiness and rainy. All right, so here is Terry Humphrey, the catcher. And Humphrey on the day has struck out twice, so he's looking to avoid a hat trick. 3-4, and he does. He doubles to right field. That's a good way to avoid a hat trick. He doubled to right field. So Humphrey is on second with a double. He is not a very good runner, so he will not be held on. But the dangerous Thad Bosley is up, and so you got to be careful about that. He had the big RBI double back in the third, or big 2-run double, I should say, back in the third. So got to avoid Mr. Bosley doing anything big here. Boy, it is just coming down in buckets out there. So let's see. Bosley, 4-5. Struck him out. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. He's got a 7. We're in the top of the 7th, but he hasn't given up enough to be tired. So that's a humongous strikeout for Mr. Barrios, as he puts away Thad Bosley and preserves this 3-3 ball game. And he might be able to go to the 8th because he doesn't have that much against him as of yet. I think Gary Nolan is pretty much done. So Nolan will be relieved, and Mike Barlow will be your new batter, or new pitcher, I should say. Gary Nolan's going to go 6 innings, and he's going to face 25 batters and give up 3 runs. I believe they're all earned, if I'm not mistaken. But that's just the way that goes. But it's the bottom of the 7th, and we all know what the bottom of the 7th means. It is time for Mr. Harry to see if we can get some more runs for those Sox. Hey, indeed. Harry needs to give him some runs. Hello, Philip Reynolds. I didn't see you come in. Welcome to you this morning, sir. Boy, it is just coming down. I don't know if you can hear it on the video. I'll be quiet for a second, see if you can hear this rain. Might open the window. Maybe that'll make the sound a little bit more where you can hear this rain. I mean, it is like, get the arc out. That's how much it's raining. I mean, it is just pouring down rain. I would move the camera, but I'm afraid to disturb it because I got it where I wanted it. I don't want to have to mess this up, but it's definitely got some serious rain coming down. Fortunately, we're inside where it's nice and dry. New pitcher for the Angels is Mike Barlow, a right-hander. He will be on, and he'll be facing the bottom of the order, Kessinger, Downing, and then Gar here in the bottom of the 7th, tied at 3. Game 1 of a doubleheader here at Comiskey. Game 2, Baylor Moore against Dave Frost. So here we go. Don Kessinger, 4-7. He's a switch hitter batting left, and that's a single right there off Barlow. Leadoff single for Kessinger. He's not really a threat to steal, so they will keep him right there. Now they could bunt, and Downing is a B bunter. So I believe we're going to try a sacrifice bunt here. So I'm going to pull out my super advanced sacrifice bunt chart and do the bunt. So we will have the bunt, and let's see, he's a B bunter, so it becomes a C bunter. C bunter, and that is a 3 on the C bunter with the white die being a 6. C and a 3 says good sacrifice. Good sacrifice. The 6 is the third baseman. So in this case, I'm glad you can hear the rain. I can definitely smell it too. You know how that rain smells. But it's definitely a torrential. This is the definition of a torrential downpour. And just to think I was going to try to cut grass today. That ain't going to happen. Yeah, I can do it Monday, I guess. It's supposed to be nice Monday. All right, so the sacrifice went 5-4, we'll call it. Downing gets the job done. Kessinger is in scoring position, and Kessinger will not be held because he doesn't run all that well. Runs it at 12. Here's Gar. We'll check the 20, make sure nothing's happening. It is not. All right, 3-12 for Gar, and that's a ballpark home run chance. 1-6 would be a 2-run homer for Ralph Gar. And he does it. It's a 5. I'm not doing robbing home runs, so if you're wondering about, coming 1 next to the number, that's one part of Super Advanced I'm not messing with. That is gone. I'm not even sure if you can rob home runs in in Comiskey. I think the wall's too high anyway. But either way, Ralph Gar doesn't care. That's a 2-run bomb, and he just greeted Mike Barlow with a 2-run homer, and the Sox now lead it 5-3, and Francisco Barrios might be the happiest guy in the stadium right now. All right, here is Chet Lemon. 2-4 for Lemon, the ground ball to second. Remy's got it. Boy, Remy's had a lot of assists in game 1. Here's George Orta. 3-7 for Orta. He's going to fly to center to end the inning, but the 2-run bomb off the bat of Ralph Gar. Ralphie boy. He shot Mike Barlow's eye out on that one with a 2-run bomb. And now we go to the 8th. It is the Sox 5 and the Angels 3. Barrios back out. He's got 1 ding against his point of weakness, which was the double by Humphrey. So he's good to go otherwise, but Sox taking no chances. They have lefty Dave Hamilton and righty Laren LeGros both loosening in the bullpen just in case. If there's any sign of trouble, they will make the move. Mike, they have what they've said on high school football is they are moving that to the spring. So the plan right now is for them to play in March and April. I don't know how it's going to go. We shall see. We just had a whole fiasco where they changed the name of our high school for political reasons. That's still up in the air. It might get changed back. We don't know. They took down the signs at one point because it was supposedly offensive. And now they put them back up. So I'm not sure what's going on. But if they change the name, I will not be going to any more of their games because I'm only going to football games of the school I went to, not to some adjusted name. Don't want to get into politics, but that's just what's happening there. So here we go. Jerry Remy leads things off. Reached on a 2-base error by Lemon last time. 2-7 to fly to center. This time Lemon is up to the task. He makes the play. 1 away. And that brings up Rance Mullenix. 3-7, and he grounds to first. That'll be handled over there by Mr. Spencer. 2 down. But you got the dangerous Bobby Bonds, but at least the bases are empty. 3-3 for Bonds. He flies to right field. Cruz has got it. Inning's over. So Barrios bucking for the complete game, and that's always helpful in a doubleheader. Save your bullpen. So right now it is still a 5-3 game. Barlow, let's see, is he gonna? He's got good relief. He's got a 3 there, so they're gonna let him try to finish the 8th. They don't want to use up their bullpen in game 1 either. They do have Dave LaRoche, but they'd rather save him, I do believe. They also have Dyer Miller. All right, here's Oscar Gamble to lead things off. Gamble, Soderholm, and Spencer. You know what? To be fair, I'm going to go ahead and bring LaRoche in because there's 2 out of 3 lefties coming up. So we're going to have LaRoche come in for the Angels. He's a much better pitcher, so I'm going to try to play it fair for both teams. So LaRoche is the new pitcher for the Angels. Now, Oscar Gamble is a lefty, so they're going to go ahead and pull Gamble and bring in the right-handed hitting DH, Lamar Johnson. So Lamar Johnson is going to come in and DH in place of Gamble. So Lamar Johnson will come in and pinch hit as the wheels are turning in both dugouts. So here's Lamar Johnson. He's loaded here against lefties. 3-9, he found his column, but not the right one. He wanted column 2. He found column 3. Ground ball to short. So if you can hear the rain, that'll be good backdrop sound to this video, I guess. Be like Gene Kelly singing in the rain. And boy, if I went out there now, even with an umbrella, I'd probably get soaked. It's just coming down in buckets. All right, here is Eric Soderholm. 3-9 for Soderholm against the lefty, and that's another ground ball to short. So back-to-back ground balls to Mullenix. 2 down for Jim Spencer. Lefty on lefty. 5-7, struck him out, so LaRoche does his job. Goes 1, 2, 3. We go to the 9th. Last chance for the Angels here in game 1. And Barrios going for the complete game. He's only got 1 knock against him. So he can give up a couple more hits and still not be fatigued. But again, Hamilton the lefty and LeGros the righty are both light tossing in the bullpen just in case. And for the Angels, we got Baylor, Landreau, and Jackson. So not an easy task. On the bench, they do have a couple of lefties off the bench. So we could pinch hit for one of these guys, if possible. They do have Tony Saleta, who could pinch hit maybe for Akins or Jackson. But we'll see. Baylor's going to lead it off, first of all. 2-12, and he's hit by the pitch. There's a plus injury there, but of course, in a season replay, we don't do injuries. But he is hit by the pitch, and of course, Mr. Baylor is Mr. Hit by Pitch. So there you go. Wouldn't normally think about stealing with him, but they're down by 2, so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And here's Ken Landreau, and Landreau is a guy that can give you trouble. Nothing on the D20. 3-6. 3-6 is a single 2 stars, and that's going to be it for Barrios. They can't go any further. They cannot take any more chances with Barrios. So he is out of there, and their closer, Laren LeGros, is going to come on. Trying to get Barrios the complete game, but I think I might have went a little bit too far with him as it is. Probably should have capped him at 8 innings, but somehow those complete games look awful nice. All right, so Ron Jackson is up. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Landreau will not be held at first. They're playing for double play depth. They will definitely give up the run to get the 2 outs if they can. Now Jackson, do we pinch hit for Jackson? They're going to pinch hit for Jackson with Tony Saleta, the lefty. So they're going to make the move to bring in Saleta, and they can always bring in Dave Chalk to play third if it goes to a bottom of the 9th. But right now, Tony Saleta, the right-hander, he's got a loaded column 1. So LeGros trying to avoid that. It's a 5-3. It's off his own card. It's a ground ball pitcher, X. He is an E15, a 2 E15, so that could be interesting. 2 and a 17. He will get to that, but what is it? A 2 and a 17? Is that a G1? 2 and a 17 for a pitcher. 2 and a 17 for a pitcher is a G1. So could be a double play there we're looking for if he can avoid the error. He is an E15. And that's an 8. So we look at the pitcher error check. E15. There is no 8, so that's a double play. So that's exactly what they were looking for. It'll be a 1-6-3 double play. They will let the run score to close the gap to 5-4, but now there are 2 outs and the bases are clear. So they got exactly what they wanted, that double play. And now with 2 outs and the bases clear, you got Willie Akins as the last chance to do something for the Angels. 3-3. He's going to ground to second. Handled over there by Orta, and the ball game is over. So it wasn't easy, but the Sox hang on to win by the score of 5-4 here in Game 1 of this doubleheader. Francisco Barrios the winner. The loser ended up being Mike Barlow, who gave up those 2 runs, that 2-run homer to Gar in the 7th. And so the Sox improved now to 70. Let me get their record here. They improved now to 79-70. So we'll flip this over, 79-70. And the Angels dropped to 73-74. And since we're playing a doubleheader, the weather's going to be the same. So it's an 11 and a 6. 11 for singles, 6 for homers. That doesn't change. Okay, so now we just need to get everything lined up for game number 2. And the starter is going to be Dave Frost for the Sox. Dave Frost was 1-1 with a 3.04 ERA and 3 starts for the Sox. Only went 24 innings, but he did pitch here and he did start game 2 of the doubleheader. And for the Angels, let me get their starter, Baylor Moore, a lefty. So Baylor Moore, the left-hander. And Baylor Moore was 0-2 with a 3.97 ERA and 3 starts. So some rare guys, but of course that happens when you get these doubleheaders. It is Baylor Moore against Dave Frost. All right, now I'm going to get the cards lined up for game 2. Starters here. Let's get the lineup going for the Angels. It'll be Thad Bosley to lead it off, followed by Rance Mullenix. DH Bobby Bonds hits third. Tony Saleta is at first base. He will bat cleanup. Don Baylor is in right field. He will hit fifth. Ken Landreau is in center. He will hit sixth. Mario Guerrero is at second base, and he will bat in the 7th position. Ron Jackson will bat 8th, and Ike Hampton, the catcher, will bat 9th. And I don't think I have an Ike Hampton card, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to play Andy Etchebarren in his place. I didn't print out a Ike Hampton card. He was a very little used catcher, so I don't think there's any dramatic thing there. So it's actually going to be Etchebarren and not Hampton. So this is actually, even though it says Hampton, it's really Etchebarren who's doing the catching. All right, for the Sox, we'll look at their lineup changes because they're facing a lefty in Baylor Moore, so that means you might see some lefties coming up, and we will. First one is going to be some righties. I'm sorry, not lefties. First one I don't have a card for. Forgot I didn't print him out. I didn't really plan on playing this doubleheader on camera. I was going to play it offline. It's supposed to be Bob Coluccio, the left fielder, but I'm going to go with Alan Bannister instead. I'm going to go with, Alan Bannister. He's scheduled to play left field. He's a right-hander, so it keeps that integrity of right-handers versus Baylor Moore left-handers. So he is going to play. It's going to be Bannister, not Coluccio. All right, so Chet Lemon will hit second as they give Ralph Garr the game off against the lefty. Hitting third is the DH, Richie Zisk. Batting cleanup is first baseman Lamar Johnson. Hitting fifth is Eric Soderholm at third. Batting sixth is the right fielder, Wayne Nordhagen. Batting seventh is Don Kessinger, and he will be at second base in this game. Catcher is supposed to be Naharodny, but I don't have a card for him, and so it's going to have to be Essien. So let's get Essien out here, one of the normal catchers. And they got a shortstop named Flannery who doesn't, I don't really know anything about Flannery, so we're going to have to go with somebody else to play shortstop. And let's see who that's going to be. Who do they have to play shortstop? Well, Kessinger could play shortstop, and they could put Brohammer at second if they want to do that. How do we want to play this here? I think that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to have, actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have Bannister play shortstop, not left field. So Bannister is short, and then I'm going to need Royal Stillman to play left field and bat ninth. So Royal Stillman will bat left field. I know it's messy. I should have been more prepared for this, but I didn't think I was going to do a doubleheader on video. So just the way it works. All right, so score sheet's messy, but we'll keep track of it. And of course, when I put it in the computer, it'll all be taken care of. All right, so Baylor Moore against Dave Frost to lead things off. Let me make sure I put things back in camera view so you can see things, hopefully. Let's see here. Can you see things? I hope you can. Hello, Anthony. How you doing, sir? Okay, so game 2 is about to start. I think I've got, let me move this over here just a touch. I think everything fits in here okay now. Hopefully you can see everything, at least through the first 9 innings. That's all that really matters. Hopefully it won't go extras. All right, so Dave Frost is going to lead things off on the mound against Thad Bosley, who was one of the nemesis from game 1, but the Sox overcame that, fortunately, to take in case anybody came in late and missed it, the Sox won 5-4 in game 1 of the doubleheader. So now we're in game 2. Thad Bosley. And of course, if you can hear outside, it is cats and dogs raining out there. 5-2 against Frost, and that's a fly to right. So Frost flies out to the right fielder, Wayne Nordhagen, for out number 1. Here's Mullenix. 6-5, and that's a single. So a 1-out single for Rance Mullenix. He's not much of a runner, so they're going to hold him on, or not hold him on. Here's the DH, Bobby Bonds. 3, so we just avoid anything bad. 1-9 for Bonds, and that's a strikeout. So Bonds out on strikes, 2 down for Tony Saleta, the first baseman. Nothing happening there. Here's Saleta. Looks like it's slowing down on the rain a little bit. 5-4, and a 5-4 is a ground ball shortstop X, and that's Bannister, and that could be trouble because he's not that good. 4E48. 4-20, though. He'll get to that, but he's got to avoid the errors on the E48. That is an 11. I don't know if that's good or bad. We shall see. E48 and an 11. An E48 and an 11. 12 is the bad number, so 11's okay. So Bannister up to the task. Didn't think he was going to play today, but he's out there. So these doubleheaders can do that to you. They can, and this is one of these, not one of these newfangled day-night doubleheaders. This is the real thing back in the day, back in '77. All right, lefty Baylor Moore is your starter for the Angels, and he'll be facing Alan Bannister, the shortstop. It says Coluccio up here, but we had some rearranging to do, where Bannister takes over at short. There was a guy named Flannery who's supposed to play short, but we don't have a card for him, so Stillman's in left, batting 9th, so a little swap there. So here's Bannister, start things off, 3-9 for Bannister, and he hits a solid single. So solid single for Bannister. And let's see, Baylor Moore is a +8 holding runners. Wow, for a lefty, that's really bad. And the catcher, who's supposed to be Ike Hampton, but it's really Andy Etchebarren, he's a +1. So it's +5 overall, and Bannister, if he can get the jump, would be a 13, so that'd be an 18 minus, it'd be a 16 if he can get the jump. So they're going to try it. A 4 or 5, he gets the jump. A 12, he gets picked off. That's a 5, he gets the jump. So it's a 1 through 16, because the +5 makes him an 18, being held makes him a 16. So 1 to 16, he gets a rare steal. And he gets caught. Wouldn't you know it? Boy, that D20 is just horrible. Might throw that thing away. So when you think you got a guaranteed stolen base, look what happens. That's the way it goes. Here's Chet Lemon. 4-5 against Baylor Moore, the right-hander. 4-5 with a fly to center. Boy, 4-6 would have been a home run chance. 4-5, he flies to center. But at least by winning the game 1, the worst they can do is split the doubleheader. Here's Richie Zisk, DH. 2-6, and he's got a ballpark home run chance right here, a diamond shot. 1 to 6 would be a home run for Richie Zisk. It's a 9. Oh, I thought it was a 6 at first, but it's only a 9. So that's going to end up being a fly to right field to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Sox in the first. Had promise, but the stolen base kind of put the kibosh on that. And we go to, and I'm sorry if I missed anybody that's in here in the chat and I didn't catch you. I think I said hello to everybody, but The way all this stuff is going on, I might have missed somebody, and if I did, I apologize. If anybody says anything, I will certainly try to respond to it. All right, so Don Baylor leading things off. He did get hit by a pitch in game 1. 3-7. This time he's going to fly to center. Lemon is there, 1 away. Here's Ken Landreau. 3-3 for Landreau, and that's a ground ball. He's a loaded column 3, but he found a ground ball to first, and Lamar Johnson steps on the bag. 2 down. That's going to bring up Mario Guerrero. 110 for Guerrero with a pop to second to end the inning. And Anthony, if you're still here, I've got a question for you. Hi, John. How you doing? Anthony, if you're still on, I got a question, an inside pitch question for you. If you're still in the chat. If not, that's okay. Can ask it later or at a different time. But I did have an inside pitch rules question that I needed some clarification on, and want to get your take on it. Okay, you are there. Okay. I played a game on the Cincinnati Red game I played the other day. There was a roll on the, I think it was on a rain, not on a rain, it was an error check. And it was a ground ball to first with the runner on second. And the ground ball to first, Ken Griffey was the runner. And it was a ground ball to first with the error on a throw check. And so my philosophy was the first baseman is just going to pick up the ball, run to the bag, and tag for, and get the out. Because the pitcher, there's no way the pitcher is going to beat Ken Griffey to the bag. But other people said, no, you should have played it as he had to throw it to the pitcher covering, and it should have been an error. So I didn't see anything necessarily in the rules to definitively say that, but I'm thinking I probably should have played it that way. So I wasn't sure how you would play something like that. If you get an error on a throw check, error check for a throw, and it's a ground ball to first, do you play it where it's the first baseman tossing to the pitcher, or do you, depending on who's running, do you say, oh, this should just be a first baseman take it to the bag himself kind of thing? That was my question. If you had an answer for that or your opinion, one way or the other, I don't know what's right or wrong. Yeah, okay, first base, that's how I played it. And I did it because Griffey was the runner and J.R. Richard was the pitcher, and I'm like, there's no way in the world J.R. Richard is going to beat Ken Griffey to the bag. But somebody else said I should have played it as a throw. Just a sidebar. So I guess it's kind of a homebrew how you want to play that, as long as you're consistent. I guess if I do that one way, I need to do it for the whole thing. All right, so thank you, sir. Thank you, Anthony, for your input. And congratulations on your 500 subs recently, by the way, if I didn't say that already in your chat. Nice milestone to get to. All right, so here is Lamar Johnson, first baseman. 5-9, struck him out. Baylor Moore out on strikes. All right, that brings up Eric Soderholm. 2-7 for Soderholm against a lefty. He missed 2-6 would have been a straight home run. 1-7 is a 1-3 home run. So 1-3 home run. And that's 15, so he's going to fly to right. 2 down, so he just missed it. And here's Wayne Nordhagen, right fielder. 5-7 against Baylor Moore. That's a 1-7 for a double. 8-20 is a single. That's a 16, so that'll be a single for Wayne Nordhagen. 2-out single. He is no threat to run whatsoever, so he will not be held. Here's Kessinger. That's a 1, but there's no wild pitch rating for Moore, so nothing to worry about there. 2-9 against the lefty for Kessinger. He's going to pop it up to short. Mullenix makes the play, and after 2 complete, we are scoreless here at Comiskey. So nothing doing for either team. Here's Dave Frost again. He's got a fatigue of 6. Baylor Moore has a fatigue of 5. You are most welcome, Anthony. I enjoy your channel. Admittedly, I'm not a boxing fan, but you can make the boxing game tolerable to watch. I'm just not a boxing fan, but the Glory Days boxing game looks great. If I was a boxing fan, I'm sure I would love it. I don't know, maybe one day you'll make a wrestling game like that, and then I'll be all over it. And of course, if you come with your baseball game, I'll be all over that too. All right, so top of the third, Ron Jackson, if you're nasty. 3-7 for Jackson, and a 1-4 is a single. Anything else, he will line to third. And it's a 3. Boy, you just don't think you're going to get those rolls, but you do. So Ron Jackson is bored, and he's got a C stealer. Frost is a +4 hold rating, and I believe Essien's a 0. So that'll be a +4, which would make that a 17. Being held makes him a 15. So if he gets a jump, it's a 1-15. So they're going to take the chance of getting the jump. 4 to 5, he gets the jump. 12, he's picked off. That's an 11. Ooh, he just avoided the pickoff. So Ron Jackson will stay put. He will be held. Frost, nothing on the 20. Here is Etchebarren, who's really playing the role of Ike Hampton today. 6-6, and that's a double to center field. So how do you like that? And Ike Hampton would have done the same because he's a righty batter, so it really didn't matter who the batter was in this case. That would have been a double to center field. Now, Jackson was being held. He's a 14. There's nobody out, so they're going to hold him at third base. No sense taking any chances the way that D20's been rolling. And now you got the top of the order coming up. So second and third, nobody out. They're going to play the infield back. They're looking for some runs. They're thinking with these two pitchers, they're going to be runs scored today. So they're going to play the infield back. They want some outs. So here's Thad Bosley. 6-11, ground ball first base A. Now, let me go to my trusty little thingy here. This is what I use. Ground ball A with the infield back. Ground ball A, runner second and third is a number 5. The number 5 says if hit to second or short, batter out, runners advance. Otherwise, batter out, runners hold. Well, since it was hit to first, the runners had to hold. So how about that? Runners had to hold, even with the infield back because of the way it was hit. The infield, or the runners had to hold. Now with one out, they're going to go ahead and bring the infield in for Mullenix. Try to cut off a cheap run. 5-5 against the lefty. Ground ball shortstop X. That is Bannister, who's unfortunately a 4. 4 and a 12. Let's check the range on that. 4 and a 12 is a G3. There's no plus or pound sign by it, so that doesn't get through. And let's check the... Ooh, that's a 17. That's bad news. 48 and a 17. Nope. You know what? He somehow avoided that 48. Of 12, 15, 16, and 18 are errors. That's a 17, so there's no error. So now we go back to our trusty little book with the infield in. Infield in at second and third. And we got a ground ball C because the 3 translates to a C. That turns into a 3. Number 3 says batter out, runners advance. So the run will score despite the infield being in, the way the ball was hit. The run will score on the 6-3 ground out. Jackson scores. Angels lead it 1-0. And the catcher Etchebarren goes to third. So runner at third with 2 outs and a run in. Angels lead it 1-0. And here's the dangerous Bobby Bonds. Got to be careful with him. 4-2. That's a split chance. 1 to 17 is a single. That'll make it 2-0. 18 to 20 lines to short. And that's a single for Bobby Bonds. That'll bring in Mr. Etchebarren. It's 2-0 Angels. And Bonds definitely looking to steal, particularly with that +4. So to get the jump, it's 2 through 6 or an 11. 7, he does not get the jump. Even so, 15 there, -4 is an 11. +4, make it a 15. He could still try it. A 1 to 15, they're going to try it. A 1 to 15, he will make it. And he does not. It's a 19. Boy, he got caught stealing. Boy, those D20s have come up big numbers on those attempted steals. So that's going to end the inning, but the Angels do pick up 2 runs. I guess they figured they were playing with house money. 2 runs in the books. And we go to the bottom of the third. And it will be Jim Essien, not Naharodny, because Naharodny, I don't have a card for Naharodny. So it's actually going to be Essien. This is where I was playing on the computer. I'd have all these players, but I don't, so I got to play it this way. 110, ground ball to short. But I do want to keep the right-hander batter, replacing a right-handed batter integrity. So there is 1 away. And that brings up Royal Stillman, left fielder. 4-8 against the lefty. That's a walk. So Baylor Moore will walk the number 9 hitter, Royal Stillman. He is no threat to steal. So he won't go anywhere. He won't even be held. Bannister, the batter now. Whoops. 6-3 against a lefty. Against a righty is a ballpark single check, which is 1 to 11. So 1 to 11 will get it done. And it's 12. Boy, you just can't catch a break sometimes on these D20s. So there's 2 down. D20 is as evil as the decider die is in History Maker. All right, so here's Chet Lemon. Nothing there. Lemon. 1-6 for Lemon against the lefty, and he struck him out. So Baylor Moore gets the job done. We go to the the top of the fourth. 2-0 Angels in the lead. Well, it might not be 110 degrees here, Anthony, but the humidity is definitely off the charts. I don't know how long I can keep this window open. It's not that, it's kind of cool with the rain, so that kind of helps, but I can that humidity feeling is kind of seeping through a little bit, so I might have to close the window and go back to the AC here very shortly, probably after I'm done. But right now, I'm still okay. Haven't passed out or anything. So here's Tony Saleta. 4-9 off of Frost is a ground ball to second, and that is handled over there by Kessinger, 1 away. Brings up Don Baylor, Mr. Hit by Pitch. 4-7. He's going to hit a double here, possibly. 1-13 will be that double. 14-20 is a single. And it's a double for Don Baylor. 1 out double. He is not going to try to steal third, but he will definitely have to be held. Nothing on the 20. Here's Landro. 5-6. And that's a single, 2 stars off of Frost. And that'll be an RBI for Mr. Landro. It's 3-0 Angels. And Frost may have to hit the showers here very shortly. Here's Mario Guerrero. Nothing on the 20. Guerrero, the second baseman. 2-9 for Guerrero. Grounds to second, but it's a C, so that will move Landro to second base. So Landro is in scoring position with 2 down. And that'll bring up Mr. Jackson, Ron Jackson. 6-4. Catcher X. Haven't had one of those in a while. Catcher X. That's Jim Essien. His catcher rating is a 2E4. 2E4. So 2 and a 3. That could be interesting. Let's see what that is all about. A 2 and a 3. Oops, wrong side. 2 and a 3 is a W/G. And whoops, re-rolled that. That went over the top. For errors, that's an 11, and he is an E4. There is no 11, but a W/G with a runner on. Let's see here. Whoops. Runners on base, a wild pitch. Runners advance 1 back. So it's a wild pitch. And play resumes with the runner at bat. So we have a new at bat for Jackson, but a wild pitch will move Landro to third base. So the wild pitch moves Landro to third. Jackson still at the plate. Nothing on the 20. Whoops, dropped out of my hand. Here we go. 5-6. And look at that. Jackson comes back and doubles off of Frost. And it's now 4-0 Angels. And the bullpen for the Sox is heating up hot and heavy, as Frost just doesn't have it. Here's Echeverren trying to get him through this inning. That's a 1, but he has no wild pitch rating. So here's Echeverren. 2-6 for Echeverren. Oh, even Echeverren got him. 2-6 is a 1-6 triple. 7-20 is a single with 2 stars. Scores the run either way, and it will be a single, but it will score the run. It is now 5-0. And Frost, they may not be able to get through this inning. They may have to pull him now. Let's see. They're going to go to, well, they'll go to Hamilton. They don't really want to use him this early, but they got to get out of the inning. And he may only pitch a short time, but they try to go with Frost as long as they could, but it's now 5-0, so got to cut it off at some point. Echeverren not being held at first. Lefty on lefty for Thad Bosley. It's a 5-5. And that's an in-home run chance, 1-15. He does have weak power, so that'll be a single 2 stars on a 1-15. 16-20 flies to right. That's a 19, so he flies to right as Nordhagen pulls it in. But 3 runs come in, and it is 5-0 Angels as they are taking it to the Sox and Mr. Frost. Good thing the Sox won game 1. All right, so Baylor Moore steps in. He's got a 5-0 lead to work with, and here's Richie Zisk to start things off. 5-8, and it's ground ball second base X. That's Guerrero, and Guerrero's defensive rating is a 3 E21. 3 and an 8, he'll get to that. E21. E21 and a 10. I think the 10's good all day long on that, I do believe. Just double checking it, make sure. Yep, 10 is okay. 3 and 8 is a G3, so that's okay. So it's a 4-3 ground out. 1 away for Zisk. Brings up Lamar Johnson. 4-4. 4-4 is a ground ball third base X. That's Ron Jackson, so another X check. And Ron Jackson is a 3 E18. 3 and a 5. That could be interesting. That might get through. A 3 and a 5. Nope, it's a G3. Just barely on the last number. So then you can check his error rating. That is an 8. That is an 8 on an E18. E18, no 8. That's a good play. Ron Jackson makes the play. So 2 tough grounders. They were up to the task both times. Here's Eric Soderholm. 2-5 for Soderholm. And that's a 1-8 triple. 9-20 is a double. And that's a double for Soderholm, a 2-out double for Wayne Nordhagen. Soderholm will not be held. So Nordhagen, as the rain continues to come down, 1-5. Oh, Nordhagen comes through. 1-5 is a triple, 6-20 is a double. That will score the run either way from second base. It's a double, so back-to-back doubles. The rain has picked up its intensity as well. Cuts the lead to 5-1, so at least they get off the schneid. And here's Kessinger. Nothing on the 20. Kessinger, 110 against the lefty. And that's a ballpark single check, which is 1-11. It's only 1 star, though. It's a 14, so it doesn't matter. He's going to line it to second. Actually, he's going to pop it to short. So that's going to end the inning. Sox get a run, get off the 0 board. It's 5-1 as we go to the 5th. And I think Hamilton is going to be allowed to pitch the 5th inning, and then they'll pull him. And right now he's going to face Mullenix, Bonds, and Saleta, 2 lefties. So it's a good time to have him in there. So Mullenix, a 2-8 versus a lefty, and he comes through with a double. Boy, he's got some good numbers here against lefties. Look at that, 2-8 is a double. So, boy, Mullenix coming through. He will not be held, I don't think. No, he will not be held. But here's Bobby Bonds against the lefty, 5-11. That's a fly ball right field X. That's Nordhagen. That could be trouble. Nordhagen's not the best fielder in the world. Nordhagen checks in as a 3 E16, so his range is okay, but his error rate is very high. 3 and a 9, he'll get to that, but the E16 is the problem. E16 and a 10, though, might be all right. E16 and the 10, yep, there's no 10 on the E16, so he's good to go. 3 and the 9 is an F2. So on an F2, I don't think anybody goes anywhere on an F2. I don't believe. Let me double check it, make sure that there's no advancement. On an F2, run on second may tag up to try to advance. But Mullenix doesn't run all that well, so, and with only 1 out, they're just going to go ahead and keep him at second base. He could have gone up, taken a chance if he wanted to. Here's Saleta, lefty on lefty against Hamilton. 5-9, struck him out. So Hamilton gets the strikeout for out number 2. But now he's got to deal with Don Baylor. Now first base is open, and the lefty Landreau is coming up, so they're going to intentionally walk Don Baylor. Not even going to mess with Baylor. They'll go straight after Landreau with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Lefty on lefty, 4-8 struck him out. So I was reading 5-8 there at first, but he got the job done, and that's going to be all for Hamilton. He goes an inning and a third in back of Frost, who went 3 2/3. But we'll get a new pitcher in for the Sox. I don't want to burn up Hamilton in a somewhat lopsided game of 5-1. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. Baylor Moore, this will be his fatigue inning because he does have that 5 there. So he will be facing bottom portion of the order, Essien, Stillman, and Bannister. All right, 4-6 against a right-hander. That's a in-home run chance, and he does have normal power against lefties. It's a ballpark home run chance, which is 1-6. So 1-6. Oh, and Tabby has shown up. Don't know if she'll be on camera, but she's coming here close. 1-6. Can Tabby? No, Tabby doesn't give him any inspiration. So it'll be a fly to left for 1 away. But Tabby is interested in the rain. That's what she's interested in. All right, here's Royal Stillman. 4-6, and he's going to ground it to first. Salata make the play. 2 down for Alan Bannister. 6-6. That's a 2-out walk to Bannister. Now, he's also could try to steal. Did he get caught? He got caught to start the game, though. I'm not playing that role again. We're not going to try that again. Fool me once on that. Fool me twice, shame on me. So here's Lemon. 4-10 against a righty. That's a ballpark single check. 1-11. It's a base hit. Now, if had Stolen been successful, it still wouldn't have scored. So he'd have just been at third base instead of second base. So now we got 2 on, 2 out for Richie Zisk. But when you're down 5-1, you just can't take chances. Zisk, one swing of the bat could make it a 1-run game real quick. 1-4, though, is a ground ball to short, and that's going to end it. So the threat goes away with nothing going on. Even Tabby's presence didn't help. So Sox come away empty. We go to the 6th, and we'll get a new pitcher for Chicago, as they don't want to, obviously don't want to burn up one of their better pitchers, Hamilton, when you're down 5-1. So now they will turn it over to their bullpen, and it's going to be Bart Johnson, their long reliever. They'll try to get him to pitch at least 3 innings if they can. We shall see. He's not that good, although last outing he did was pretty decent. But normally for the season he has not done well at all. But they're taking a chance. You got to pitch him sometime. So here's Mario Guerrero to lead things off against Bart Johnson, the righty. That's a 4-3 against Johnson. That's a fly ball right field X. That's Nordhagen. It's a 3 E16. 3 and a 17. He'll get to that. E16. You got to worry about an error. E16 and a 13. Let's see. E16 and a 13. Oh, and that's a 2-base error right there. E16 and a 13 is a 2-base error on Nordhagen. So the fielding woes come up again for the Sox. And you know that coming in. You know they're not going to be good fielders, but you live with it. All right, so Guerrero at second base will not be held. Here's Jackson. Nothing on the 20. Oh, that one wasn't Bart Johnson's fault. That was Nordhagen's fault. 3-7. 1-4 is a single. 5-20, he lines to Soderholm. And it's a 10, so he lines to Soderholm for 1 away. And that'll bring up Echebarren. Nothing on the 20. 4-7 against Bart Johnson. That's a single, 2 stars. So there you go. That's going to bring home the run, unearned as it is. But how about this? Echebarren, who's subbing for Hampton, is now 3 for 3. So how do you like that? So that's where it's a little skewed, because I don't think Ike Hampton would have gone 3 for 3. But that's just what you do. Can't do anything about it. Echebarren will not be held. Bosley, nothing there. And even if I had printed out a Hampton card, he has so few at-bats, I'm not sure how realistic it would have been anyway. 6-10 against a lefty. Fly ball center field X, that's Chet Lemon. He's a 3 E13. 3 and a 4 is probably going to drop. I got a feeling. 3 and a 4 is going to drop. It's a single, 2 stars. And that will move Echebarren to third. The question is there going to be an error? He is an E13. E13 and a 7 should be okay, I would think. Yep, 6 is a bad one, but not 7. So it's going to be a single, 2 stars. Puts runners at the corners with only 1 out. Bosley will not be held. I'm sorry, he will be held. My bad. He will be held. And they're looking for a double play if they can get it. Here's Mullenix. 3-5 for Mullenix. Well, it won't be a double play, that's for sure. 1-7 is a single. 8-20, he grounds to short for a fielder's choice. And he's going to ground to short, but I believe the run's going to score. Let's check out the runners at the corners with a ground ball. B is a 7. Batter safe, lead runner. Wait a minute. Oh, let's see here. This says lead runner is out. Oh, it's infield in. I'm sorry. I was looking at the infield in. Run at the corners is a 4. Batter safe, runner on first out, going to second for a force. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so they were trying to turn 2 and it didn't quite work. They couldn't turn the double play. It will be a force play. And Echebarren will score. Second run is in. It's now 7-1. 7-1 with Mullenix at first base and 2 outs. So the second game not nearly as exciting as the first game. Maybe I should have played this on the computer. 2-6 for Bonds, struck him out to end the inning. But damage done. It is now 7-1 Angels, as they are having their way with the Sox pitching staff and the Sox fielding. But the guy who's enjoying the whole thing is Baylor Moore. He's still going strong. He has a fatigue of 5. He's given up a single and a walk, but he's still got a little bit left in the tank. And here's Lamar Johnson. 6-7, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-5. 6-20 would be a double anyway. And that's a double for Lamar Johnson. So Baylor Moore just about out of gas, I think. And they do have a long reliever in John Canera, I guess is how you pronounce it. He's loosening in the bullpen. Right now, Soderholm. Johnson, of course, not being held. 6-4 against Baylor Moore for a right-hander. He is a fly ball center field X, and that is Landro. And Mr. Landro checks in 3 E16, so not very good either. 3 and a 6, that's going to be interesting. A 3 and a 6 will be a single 2 stars. How about that? Single 2 stars. Check the E16 and a 9. I think he's okay with that. Let's see. E16. Yep, no error, but it will be a single 2 stars, which will score Lamar Johnson. And I think the rain is finally almost stopped. But it's not going to help the Sox any. They're down now 7-2. And Baylor Moore is just about done. I think he's now officially fatigued. But they're gonna see if they can pitch a little bit more with this big lead. Here's Nordhagen. Nothing good doing on Nordhagen's card. 1-6. That's a double right there against Nordhagen, or for Nordhagen. And that's going to put runners at second and third. They're not going to risk with nobody out and down 7-2. So that's going to do it for Baylor Moore. They were trying to get more innings out of him, but 5+ is looks like all he's going to be able to stand. So now we have John, I guess it's pronounced Canera, and he was 2-2 with a 4.08 ERA. 4 starts, but he does have a relief rating of 3. So Canera is going to be in there. And I guess that's how it's pronounced. It sounds almost like Panera, like Panera bread. But I'm calling him Canera, or I call him Canary sometimes. I don't know how you pronounce his real name. Not a player I knew about until I saw the card set. But he's coming in, and he'll be facing Don Kessinger. Runners at second and third, nobody out. Hi, remember the greats. How are you doing? Good morning to you. Second, third, nobody out. They're playing the infield back because they have a 7-2 lead. 11, nothing's going on with 20. Here's Kessinger. 1-7 against and Canera is a right-hander. 1-7 is a ground ball shortstop plus. So had they played the infield in, that would go through a base hit, but instead it's just a ground ball shortstop A, and I believe with the infield back, that's going to get the run home. Second and third, ground ball A is a 1. No, it says runners hold. How about that? Okay. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Or did I read that wrong? Hold on. I might have read that wrong. Second, third, I did. I had the infield in again. Second, third, ground ball A is a 5. So if it's hit second or short, the runners advance. That makes more sense. So that means, it even means Nordhagen's going to move it to third. So let's see here. Runners do advance, it says, on both aspects. So it's going to be a 6-3 ground out with the run scoring. It cuts the lead to 7-3. That run is charged to Baylor Moore. And now runner at third, 1 out is Nordhagen, and that will bring up the catcher, Jim Essien. Infield still back. I'm going to get those outs to give up the run with the big lead. 2-5, and that's a double for Essien. Doesn't matter where they were playing. That's an Essien double. And that's the third run. That can close the book now on Baylor Moore. He's given up 3-4 runs now. It's now 7-4, and all of a sudden we got a ball game again. 7-4. Essien will not be held. Here's Royal Stillman. Nothing for Royal Stillman. 5-8 against a left-hander for Canary. That's a fly to left. There's a dot there, but of course he's not tired. So it's a fly to left for 2 down. It's a fly ball C, but I don't think fly ball C does anything. The runners hold, so nothing's going on there. All right, so 2 down for back to the top of the order and Alan Bannister. The Sox did at least make up a little bit of ground here with 3 runs this inning. 4-7 against the righty, and that's a walk. So Bannister draws the 2-out walk, puts runners at first and second with 2 down for Chet Lemon. Chet Lemon, one swing of the bat could really get things going for the Sox. 6-7. A lot of good hits here, but 6-7 is a ground ball second base X, which is Mario Guerrero. Don't know if he's Super Mario, but he's a 321 defensively. 3-3 though. That might, I'm sure that's going to sneak through for a base hit. 3-3 is a single 1 star, not 2 stars. 1, and he's an E21, so might also be an error on top of it. We'll see. E21 and an 11. E21, no 11, but it's going to be a single 1 star, and that will load the bases. So the fact that it was only 1 star, even with 2 outs, they weren't able to score the run. But the bases are now loaded for Richie Zisk, number 9 man to bat in the order. 1 swing of the bat, and Richie Zisk can do serious damage here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. So 1 wild pitch rating on Canary is a 7. That's an 18, no wild pitch. So it's up to Zisk to get it done. 1-6, and he strikes out with the bases loaded. How do you figure that? All right, so Zisk couldn't get it done. They left him loaded. Another bane of the White Sox replay is left on base. Between errors and left on base, it's a wonder they win any games. But it is now a 7-4 game. So we go to the top of the 7th with a 7-4 game. So anything is possible, as they've kind of gotten themselves right back in the game, so to speak. All right, so Tony Salado will lead off against Bart Johnson. 2-9 for Salado is a strikeout. So Bart Johnson gets the whiff on Salado. 1 away for Don Baylor. And Baylor a 5-6. That's a fly ball to left. That's 2 away. So 2 up, 2 down. And Johnson seems to have settled in just a little bit. That'll bring up Kenny Landreau. So Ken Landreau, the batter. 1-4 for Landreau. He's going to fly to right. That is handled out there by Nordhagen to end the 7th inning, top of the 7th, I should say. And we go to the bottom of the 7th, and since this is a doubleheader, that means you get twice as much Harry. So we go to the bottom of the 7th, and we'll see if Harry can get us some runs and get things going. And let's see, I guess they're going to keep Canary in the game. We'll see. All right, so bottom of the 7th, the score is the Angels 7, White Sox 4. Harry's going to try to get us some runs. Hey is right, as Harry says, let's get some runs. And Tabby is about ready to pounce down here, I think. I'm not sure. We have to keep an eye on, make sure she doesn't jump down here prematurely and get in the way. All right, so bottom of the 7th we go. It is 7-4. California trying to avoid the sweep by beating the Sox in this game if they can. Canary is in, but he's got a short leash because he didn't do so well last inning. Here's Lamar Johnson, 1-6, and that's a 1-13 single. And 14-20 lines to third. That's a single, so Lamar Johnson, a leadoff single. And now in the bullpen for the Angels, Dyer Miller is loosening and in a hurry as well, as Canara is having his issues. Lamar Johnson not going to be held. Here is Soderholm. 5-3, and that is a ground ball pitcher X. He is a 4E50. Wow, that's pretty bad. 4E50 for defense. 4 and a 9. That probably is going to be an infield single. 4. Oops, let's get the right chart. That would help too, wouldn't it? 4 and a 9. Believe it or not, is a G3. So he is able to get to it, but the runner will advance. But the E50, you got to worry about the E50. That's the problem. That's a 12. And an E50 and a 12 is going to be an error right there. E50, he's got a bunch of numbers here, and 12 is right there as an E1. So it's not only going to be a single, it's going to be an error. So that will put Soderholm at second and put Johnson to third. And I think that's going to be it for Mr. Canary, as he is going to be out of there. So Canara, whatever you want to call him, couldn't quite get it done. He goes 1+. And they're going to turn it over to Dyer Miller. Dyer Miller. Veteran Dyer Miller is going to come on to try to quell this rally by the Sox. It's going to be Nordhagen followed by Kessinger. Runners are at second and third. Nobody out there playing the infield back because they want outs. 1. A 3 is a wild pitch rating for Dyer Miller, but no wild pitch. So we'll go to Nordhagen. 4-6 against Dyer Miller, and that's a fly to center field B. It will be a sacrifice fly to score the run. So Johnson trots in from third. It's an unearned run charged to Canara, but they'll take it. It's 7-5. All of a sudden now tying runs at the plate in Don Kessinger. Soderholm is at second, not being held. And here's Kessinger. 6-5, switch hitter batting left. 6-5 is a fly ball right field C. That'll hold freeze the runner at second. 2 down. And it's up to Jim Essien, who doubled last time up, but if he does it again, if he doubles again, we got a tie game. Nothing on the 20. Here's Essien. 5-7. Ground ball second base X. That's Super Mario again. He's a 3 E16. 3 and a 20, he'll get to that. E16, he's got to avoid the error. E16, he's got to avoid an error. That is a total of 7. E16, there is no 7, so it's a good play for Guerrero to end the inning. But another run comes in, and it is now 7-5 as the Sox creep closer. We go to the 8th. We go to the 8th. And it will be, but they're going to, I think they might put Bart Johnson away. You know what? No, actually he had a good outing last time. So he went 1-2-3 last time, so they'll keep him out there, but he's on a short leash for sure. As they do have more activity in the bullpen. But it's top of the 8th we go, 7-5 California here in the second game of a doubleheader, which the Sox won the first game by the score of 5-4. So here we go. Mario Guerrero leads off the top of the 8th. He'll be followed by Jackson and Echeverrin. 2-7 for Guerrero. Fly to center. That's one away, so Bart Johnson escapes that one. They like to eke out one more inning and then bring in a better reliever for the 9th. Here's Jackson, 5-5. Ground ball shortstop B, handled by Mr. Bannister for out number 2. That now actually is 8 in a row retired by Bart Johnson. Here's Echeverrin. They can't get him out, though. He's 3 for 3. It's kind of pitiful because he's only a 254 hitter, but he's 3 for 3 in this one. 5-6. He's going to fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. So Bart Johnson, they might keep him out there for the 9th because he's rolling along pretty good. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. And Dyer Miller back out. We'll be facing the bottom of the order, Stillman, then the top of the order for Bannister and for Lemon. So here we go. Stillman to lead it off. 1-6 for Stillman, struck him out. 1 away. Here's Alan Bannister. 4-7 against a right-hander, and that's another strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts here in the 8th. Here's Chet Lemon. Chet Lemon, a 6-8 against Dyer Miller, and that's a line out to third, handled by Jackson. Nothing doing for either team here in the 8th. We go to the 9th. California holding a slim lead at 7-5. And it'll be top of the order for the Angels. Bosley, Mullenix, and Bonds due up against Bart Johnson. Now they do have in the bullpen, due the Sox, they do have a right-hander loosening down there, Clay Carroll. So if anything happens with Bart Johnson, Clay Carroll will be called upon. He is ready to go. 4-10 against a lefty, and that is a ballpark single chance, which is 1-11 for Thad Bosley. And that's a 17, so he will fail on that. It's a fly, ends up being a fly ball to center field, I believe. 1 away, and that brings up Rance Mullenix. 5-5 against the lefty. That's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet because he has a relief rating of 4, so he's good to go. He's in his 4th inning, but he hasn't given up anything since getting to the 4th inning. So he gave up 2 runs, but one of those was unearned, so you can't really count that against him. Here's Bonds. 5-7 for Bonds. That's a big hit there. 1-13 is a double. 14-20 is a single. That's a single for Bonds, and you know he's looking to run. Bart Johnson's a +3. But you know what? We're going to have a pitching change. Clay Carroll is going to come on, and Clay Carroll is a -3 hold rating. So that might put the kibosh on Bonds. Plus, they want to make sure Bart Johnson doesn't do anything weird. All right, so Clay Carroll's a -3, so that makes it a -3 plus 2 being held is a -5. So even if he gets a jump, it's only a 1-12. So I think Bonds is going to, well, you know what, a 1-12, if he can get the lead, they might still do it. So let's see if he can get the lead. 2 through 6 or an 11, he gets the lead. 10, he does not get the lead, so that takes that out of the equation. But now Clay Carroll is on to face Tony Saleta. Nothing happening there. Here's Saleta against Carroll. 3-7, and it's a ground ball to first. That's going to end the inning. No, I take it back. There's a plus sign there, and he was being held, was Bonds. So that's going to get through for a base hit. Single 2 stars when you hold the runner and you get that plus sign. That's a single 2 stars. I almost missed that. So Saleta sneaks it through. Had that big gap on the right-hand side where they were holding the runner, and now runners are at the corners with 2 outs for Don Baylor. Now Saleta will not be held, but you got the dangerous Don Baylor trying to get some insurance for the Angels. 3-10. He will not do it. He grounds to second, handled by Kessinger, and that's going to take care of things. So Clay Carroll gets out of the mess. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Sox against Dyer Miller. Last chance. And Miller, this will be his fatigue inning, so if he runs into trouble, his fatigue will come into play. Now, they do have LaRoche. He pitched an inning last in the first game, but he can always come back and pitch an inning in the second game. That happened quite a bit back in those days. So that brings up last chance. It'll be Zisk, Johnson, and Soderholm, but Johnson will not hit. Even though he's had a single and double the last couple times up, they're going to go to Oscar Gamble with the righty in there. So they're going to have Gamble. Gamble's going to be in. And I think, let's see, for Soderholm, no, Soderholm's 3 for 4. I ain't going to take out Soderholm. So it's going to be Zisk, Gamble, and Soderholm here in the 9th. So Gamble will take over as a pinch hitter. And if it goes to the bottom of to the extra innings, they can always bring in Jim Spencer to play first. But right now, it's Richie Zisk, the DH, leading things off against Dyer Miller. 7-5, bottom of the 9th, 2-8. And that's a solid home run right there for Richie Zisk. You pitch to Zisk at your own risk, and there it is, bright bold, home run. Only problem for the Sox is it's a solo shot, but it does cut the lead to 7-6, and all of a sudden we're right back in the game now, 7-6. And the pinch hitter Oscar Gamble is on. Dyer Miller trying to hold on, but we might have Dave LaRoche. I think we will. I think they're going to make that move. So Dave LaRoche will be coming on as Dyer Miller is faltering. Dave LaRoche is going to come in and try to close the deal. And now with LaRoche on there and Gamble being announced for the pinch hitter, but actually, you know what? It's not going to be Gamble because he was not announced. Well, you know, he was announced. I'm going to play it where he was announced. All right, so Gamble, you either leave him in or you bring in a righty. They don't have a whole lot of righties on the bench to hit. Most of their batters are lefties, so we're going to have to stick with Gamble either way, lefty on lefty. To be fair, we will have to stick with Gamble, and we'll see if that hurts him. Lefty on lefty, but Gamble's got some decent. If he gets column 1, he's pretty decent. And he did get column 1, 1-7, but not this. All these hits, and he found his fly ball to center. So Gamble just missed it, 1 away, and here's Soderholm, the righty, followed by Nordhagen, the righty. So Soderholm is up 2-8 against the lefty, and he popped. 2-9 would have been a home run chance. 2-10 would have been a solid home run. 2-8, though, is a pop to short for out number 2. Sox may come up 1 run short here, it appears. But Nordhagen's got the last chance to say something about it. That's a leaner, so I'm going to re-roll that. That white die was leaning. 4-12. 4-12 with a fly ball to center, and that's going to do it. So the Sox battle back valiantly. After falling behind 7-1, they cut it to 7-5. Actually 7-6. That should be a run there. I messed that up because I missed the home run by Zisk. So it's actually a 7-6 game. Sox fall 7-6 here in game number 2 in this doubleheader. I've never done a doubleheader online before. This is kind of different for me, so a little bit unusual. So the Sox split, and they will say goodbye to the Angels, and the Oakland A's will come in for game 151. And the Sox now, with that loss, drop to 79-71. Don't know what Oakland's record is yet. I have to go to the computer for that. But they will have game 151, game 152, and game 153 are a 3-game homestand at Oakland to finish out the homestand. And then I believe they go on the road to Seattle. I'll have to double check the schedule. But Oakland A's will be coming in for 3. Thank you guys for sticking with me the whole time. Mike, I'm glad it made your day go by faster. Hi, Dave Peach. I didn't see you come in. Thank you for being here. I want to thank everybody who stuck around or came in for a little bit of the time. Let's see. Let me go back to the beginning, and I don't miss anybody because I do want to recognize everybody that was in the chat. We had Sports Time Machine, Mr. Utah Mike. Check out his channel. You have SDG Replays. If he has a channel, check him out. G Catcher 1919. I wonder if that's about the White Sox 1919. Of course, Al Red Sox fan, a stalwart on the YouTube community. We have, let's see, who else do we have here? I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Philip Reynolds was in for a while. Let's see, anybody else that I missed? Scroll down here. Let's see. I'm sure I'm going to miss somebody, and I apologize if I do. Anthony Bleacher Bums. How can I forget that? Because he actually gave me a little inside information on Inside Pitch. John West, thank you for being here. Let's see. Remember the Great Sports. Check out his channel. Let's see. Anybody else that I'm forgetting? I think that's it. Oh, at the very end, I do believe we had Dave Peach, Mr. Dave Peach. Thank you for coming in. So the rain, I think, has finally stopped, but obviously I can't go out there and cut grass now. That would clog the lawnmower up big time. So I think I'm going to do that on Monday after work. It's one of the advantages of working from home. Once I sign off at 4 o'clock, I'm already here, and there's enough daylight to go out and be able to do that after work. So I do appreciate you guys tuning in and sticking through this doubleheader. Like I said, it's not something I really planned to do, but when I got to the doubleheader in the schedule and it got to a Saturday morning, I was like, let me try that and see how it works. So hopefully it worked out all right. Hopefully the camera angles were good. We could see everything get played. Depending on whether you're a Sox fan or not. They won the first game 5-4. Came up a little bit short, 7-6 in the nightcap or day cap, whatever you want to call it. Still daytime, so I'm not sure it's a nightcap. Richie Zisk homer in the 9th, cut it to 7-6, but couldn't get it done otherwise. So maybe I should have taken Frost out a little bit earlier. Probably left him in just a tad bit too long, but what are you going to do? I mean, you don't want to burn your 15 guys in your bullpen. Although they do have the extended rosters, but a lot of those pitchers are not very good. I don't want to burn guys like Laren LeGros on a losing effort. He got the save in the previous game, in the first game of the doubleheader. So thank you guys for doing that. For all the guys that have channels out there, and I'm not going to go through the list because I know I will forget someone, and if I do forget someone, I will feel horrible. But just anybody that's out there, if you see a video out there of a sports tabletop game or a computer game, or even a war game in the case of ID Jester, support their channels, give them a like, and to let them know that you appreciate their efforts to entertain us during this pandemic. At least baseball is back now in a limited capacity. I'm not sure about the Cardinals. They've got so many games to make up because of the COVID, so I'm not sure how that's happening or how that's doing. It still seems weird seeing the cutouts in the stands, but that's, I guess that's better than nothing. Anyway, enjoy your Saturday. I've got honeydew things to do even though the rain's pretty much stopped now, so I think I can go out there and take the trash to the dump and not get soaked. But other things I need to do around the house as well. I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, the next time for the Sox will be, well, they host Oakland in game 151. Boy, it's hard to believe. 150 games are in the books. 12 games remain. They are 79-71. I'd have to go 11-1 to match their record for real life, so that's obviously not happening. They're going to underperform by a little bit, but you know, you can't get an exact duplication on these things. The randomness is too extreme. But it's been a fun replay all the way around. I was debating between doing the Sox and the Cubs, and actually, of course, I started the Cubs the first 5 or 6 games, but knew I couldn't do both at the same time. So I may come back and do the Cubs on a different game engine, payoff pitch or inside pitch, and do a replay for them. I don't know. But again, 150 games in the books, 12 remaining. As I get closer to the end, in the pennant race on the computer, Boston and Baltimore are on a virtual tie, and they do play the last 2 games of the season against each other. So I will probably do videos of those 2 games in lieu of maybe the last White Sox games against Seattle, which really doesn't mean anything. So, or I might do them both. I don't know. It depends how it works out. But again, I do appreciate you guys tuning in and sticking with me for this hour and 45 minutes on a Saturday morning when you guys could be doing, you know, other things. So I do appreciate that. I'm going to step aside and let other guys who want to stream go ahead and have the floor and do what they need to do or would like to do. Again, Stratomatic, great game. Payoff pitch, great game. Inside pitch, great game. History Maker, great game. Appa's, you know, not my favorite, but it's okay. Triple play, I played it a couple times, and I really want to get back to it. It's not really good for video though, because you have to have, I'd have to have some kind of XSplit or something to figure out how to show the cards and the computer, because you need that helper on the computer. Also, there's, what's the other one I'm thinking of? Status Pro is another one. Replay Baseball is a great game. Much better on the computer, though, than the cards and dice, I think, in my opinion. But I do enjoy the cards and dice for replay once in a while. And I believe Anthony was giving away either a replay game or a Glory Days boxing game. So check out his, I think he's doing a video tonight on that to do the giveaway. So be sure to check that out and see who wins those prizes from Mr. Anthony. He's gracious enough to do that and give that away. Certainly didn't have to do that, but hey, he's a fine gentleman, and that's what he decides to do. And so somebody will walk away with a lucky prize. So until next time, I don't know what the video is going to be next time. Probably do some on inside pitch next time, just to break up the monotony a little bit more. Or it could be a payoff pitch game. You never know. Until next time. And in fact, Anthony just went live on his 500 sub giving drawaway, or giveaway drawing, I should say. So everybody go over and check over Anthony. I'm walking over there myself to check him out. Again, final score, split doubleheader. Sox win the first game 5-4, lose the second game 7-6. Till next time, take care, everybody. And as usual, we'll see you all down the road. Now go check Anthony out and see who wins.